JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, family offers $100,000 to find the missing YouTuber. The family of Troy Craddock is offering a $100,000 reward to anyone with information leading to his safe return home. Craddock, an animator from Upper Mall Road in Kingston 11, has been missing for 2 weeks, and his family is desperate to find him. His grandmother is very sick and she is old, and he's her favorite grandchild. We just need some kind of information to let us know where he is. We're willing to give a reward based on that, a family member shared. The relative said Craddock left home to meet with someone, carrying only his laptop. His 19-year-old daughter was the last person to see him before he went missing, and according to the relative, she's very distraught. Senior Superintendent of Police Carrie, the commanding officer for the St. Andrew South Division, could not provide a comment on the investigation up to last evening. Meanwhile, his relative, who describes 37-year-old Craddock as a loner, is puzzled at his disappearance. He was just trying to push his career forward with music and animation. He just started his YouTube channel and all of that stuff, the relative shared. Mobay resident killed at car wash. A man was shot and killed at a garage and car wash along River Bay Road in Montego Bay, St. James yesterday afternoon. He has been identified as 30-year-old Robert Young, otherwise called Andre, a tile of New Rambling Bogue, St. James. Reports are that about 12:45 p.m., Young drove a grey Toyota Corolla motor car to the 777 car wash and garage to see his mechanic. While at the location, he was attacked and shot by a lone gunman who reportedly ran from the scene and escaped in a waiting motor car. The police were summoned and found Young lying in a pool of blood with multiple gunshot wounds. He died on the spot. Donaldson's blood found on curtains and sneakers inside Maitland's apartment, court told. The prosecution in the murder case against Constable Noel Maitland said on Tuesday that DNA evidence along with CCTV footage provided strong circumstantial evidence that his missing 24-year-old girlfriend, Donaldson, is dead. Maitland was also charged with preventing the lawful burial of a corpse, arrived for a bail hearing at the Supreme Court in Kingston at 10:23 a.m. in a neatly tailored dark blue suit and what appeared to be freshly trimmed hair. However, a bail application made by Maitland's attorney Christopher Townsend was strongly opposed by the prosecution. I hasten to add that the absence of her body does not prevent the prosecution from, based on the circumstances and the evidence, from asserting that Miss Donaldson is dead, the prosecutor told Judge Vinette Graham Allen as she outlined the Crown's reason for opposing the application. She told the judge that DNA evidence from brown drops and stains from curtains at Maitland's apartment, which resembled blood, matched that from Donaldson's toothbrush handed over by her mother, Sophia Logg. Another observation is that the CCTV cameras at the neighbor's house, all 5 cameras, and those at the gate of the complex, while they show the accused man and Donaldson arriving at the complex, there is no footage, no recording of her leaving, the prosecution told the court. The court was also told that blood stains were on a couch that was taken in a truck by Maitland and 2 other men to a car wash. CCTV footage reportedly also showed that he carried the couch to downtown Kingston, where it was disposed of and never seen again. Following submission by the defense, which denied the allegations, the judge adjourned until October 13 for a ruling on the bail application. Police report that on July 11, about 10 p.m., Donaldson was picked up at her house by Maitland in a black BMW motor car to spend the night with him at an apartment located at Chelsea Manor. She has not been seen or heard from since that time. Maitland was arrested and charged on July 27. Second man involved in Gorge Floodgate breach charged. The police have charged a second man who was seen in a video breaching the padlock of a floodgate in the Bogwalk Gorge in St. Catherine. 52-year-old bus operator Garth Brown has been charged with malicious destruction of government property and unauthorized entry to a restricted area. His co-accused, Glenroy Denton, 45, was also captured on video with Brown, was charged last week Thursday, September 29, with malicious destruction of government property. Denton was offered station bail in the sum of $100,000. Both men are scheduled to appear in the St. Catherine Parish Court on October 6. It is reported that the National Works Agency ordered the closure of the Damhead floodgate on Monday, September 26, due to flooding in the gorge from the Rio Cobre. Denton and Brown are accused of breaking the padlock on the floodgate and traveling along the roadway. Brown expressed remorse for his actions in a September 29 interview. He claimed that he felt compelled to return home because his 4-month-old and 4-year-old child were ill and needed his care. JLP Councillor Carrie Douglas escaped being fined. Jamaica Labour Party JLP Councillor for the Trafalgar Division in St Andrew, Carrie Douglas, this morning escaped being fined arising from being found guilty of disorderly conduct. Instead, she was admonished and discharged in the Kingston and St Andrew Parish Court. The 36-year-old politician was arrested in April 2020 and slapped with a charge of disorderly conduct and breaches of the Disaster Risk Management Act. It was reported that about 9:28 on April 7, Douglas was driving along Meadowbrook Avenue in St Andrew when she was reportedly stopped by the police. It was further reported that while being questioned, she became boisterous and hurled abusive language at the police. Douglas challenged the charges and was subsequently found guilty of disorderly conduct following a trial. The charge of breaching the COVID-19 curfew order was earlier dropped by prosecution after her attorney, King Counsel Peter Champagne, argued that Douglas was exempted under the Disaster Risk Management Act and argued that she was on her way home after dropping off care packages. Douglas, however, got off lightly on the disorderly conduct charge after Champagne begged Parish Judge Jacqueline Wilcott to admonish and discharge his client. Champagne expressed that Douglas has learned her lesson and has matured. He also told the court that Douglas is a young politician who is passionate about what she believes is right, sometimes to her detriment, but that her heart is in the right place, and begged the judge to be lenient. The judge, in response, said while she accepted that Douglas had started out with the best intention and that the situation went awry, told the politician that she must set an example as she is part of the category of persons in society who are seen as role models. Nonetheless, the judge said, "We all have a lesson to learn in how to deal with people and how to handle situations." In the meantime, Douglas is to return to court on Thursday for her trial on charges of assault and obstructing a police officer. The charges stemmed from an incident in Swallowfield, St Andrew in February 2021, in which it is alleged that she obstructed the police while they were trying to arrest a man who was breaching the then nightly 8 p.m. curfew and hit one of the officers in the back of his neck. Clarendon rocked by protest. 2 protests created havoc for commuters in Clarendon on Monday as residents demanded that local representatives fix a bridge that was washed away years ago and cleaned block drains that they believe contributed to major flooding last Monday and Friday. Fueled by reports that 3 children were almost washed away by the Rio Minho last Friday, the same day that a mother and her 7-year-old daughter were rescued from raging flood waters. Angry residents blocked the main road from Chowtall to Frankfield early Monday.
Yeah, man. 5 hours did that. 5 hours also was crossing the river. And it was coming down very hard. And one lady dropped holding the little child in her hand, and 2 of them was washing away. And I hold on to the lady hand and pulled her. And I said, "Get up." She said she could not get up. And I pulled her out of the coming down river.
Tell me about your name.
My name is Alicia Page Burrell.
Alright, Alicia. Tell me what happened to you. Yes, boss, I'm going to lock him out.
I was washed away, but I survived because a gentleman saved me from drowning.
Alright, baby.
They complained that there has been no urgency in replacing the Southwood Bridge that was destroyed in 2017. Commuters and students were left stranded by the protest. Students of Edwin Hallin High and Frankfield primary schools were forced to make the trip on foot. Some, however, went back home. About 12 miles away, there was a major pileup of traffic on the section of road between Maypen and New Longsville, known as Woods, after taxi operators blocked access to the route. They also appear to have been spooked by the inundation of the roads last Friday. Right throughout the Woods we want road, but we want the drains to be cleaned first. The rainfall Friday and since, and we have seen nobody. We have been out here since 6 a.m. this morning to demonstrate. I will continue until it gets some attention, a taxi driver declared. Former worker implicated in Spanish Town Courthouse fire forecourt Friday. Former Justice Ministry employee Remaro Gopal, otherwise called Keith, is to reappear in the St. Catherine Circuit Court on Friday on charges of office breaking, larceny and arson. Gopal's case was transferred from the St. Catherine Parish Court on Monday on a voluntary bill of indictment. The allegations are that on July 24, Fire destroyed a section of the St. Catherine Parish Court office at Emancipation Square in Spanish Town. Investigations revealed that the perpetrator forcibly entered the building, stole money from a safe, and set fire to the property to cover the crime. A probe was launched, which resulted in Gopal being arrested on suspicion of office breaking, larceny, and arson. He was charged by the Spanish Town Police following a question and answer session. Court wants medical report of businesswoman accused of husband's attempted murder. A November 8 return date has been set for businesswoman Vanessa Johnson Lee to supply the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court with a medical report. Johnson Lee, who is charged with the attempted murder for her husband, is contending that she was the victim of abuse. Allegations are that she used her BMW motor car to hit her husband on Constant Spring Road, St. Andrew, in 2021. It is also alleged that she threatened to kill him. The accused, however, denied the allegations, claiming it was her husband who had battered her recently in her having to undergo surgery. This morning when she appeared in court, a new mention date was scheduled for her to bring her medical report. Bail was extended by the court. King's Counsel Tom Tavares Vinson and Attorney-at-Law Marcus Moore are representing the accused. Don't blame Kingston Technical Administration for stabbing, says Williams. Minister of Education Favour Williams is appealing to the public not to cast blame on the Kingston Technical High School Administration over the stabbing death of grade 11 student Mission Campbell. Campbell was killed on the school's campus last Thursday by another female student. We have been hearing stories that there's been a lot of blame going on here. Blaming of teachers, the deans of discipline, blaming of everyone. And I want to say to you, it's not the moment to blame. It's the moment for all of us to pause and say, how can we make our school a safer place? She said. I see this morning when coming in that you have persons with metal detectors. Kingston Technical High School has metal detectors. It does searches. Despite all that, we're not able to stave off the stabbing. The education minister was speaking to students and staff during a visit to the school on Monday morning. She was accompanied by guidance counselors, members of the clergy, and principals from other high schools in the corporate area who went to support the school in their time of grief. She shared that her ministry will embark on a partnership with the Ministry of Justice to bring restorative justice to the school. I have reached out to the Minister of Justice. He has a program that we have been taking around in our schools. Restorative justice to help our students understand how you de-escalate conflict situations when they arise, how you interact with each other peacefully, how you resolve disagreement, how you speak to each other so you can work together before it results in fights and arguments, she said, adding, I don't believe we have taught you enough just yet about how to handle yourself in those situations. Recognizing that many of the students who attend the school are from volatile inner-city communities, Williams said part of the support her ministry will give the school will focus on helping students to employ conflict resolution in these communities. I know that many of you live in communities and in homes in which it seems as if it's normal to quarrel and fight and shout at each other. But I'm saying to you it's not normal, and we have to help you when you come to school to understand that there's another way that you can live and interact and have peace in your homes and in your communities, she said. In sports news, 3 former champions stay perfect in D-Cup. 3 former winners, Frome Technical, Clarendon College and Glenmuir High, were among 4 teams that extended their perfect win records in Monday's Issa da Costa Cup football schedule. The 4 schools, including Cedric Titus, made big strides towards a spot in the second round of the competition as the competition picked up intensity. Frome Technical turned back Green Island High 5-1 in their rescheduled Zone B game, played in Green Island as the home team missed a penalty. Akeem Kongal scored twice for Frome Technical, as Sevon Spence got his 8th goal of the season, while Dwayne Watt and Andre Reed got the other goals. It was the first time this season that Frome conceded a goal. Davonte Hodges with 2 goals and Christopher Hull, Malachi Douglas and Marquise Reed got 1 each, as Clarendon College came out 5 of winners over Thompsontown in their Zone H game, racing to 12 points, 5 more than second place Edwin Allen. Lennon High beat Kelitsai 6-1, their second win of the season, and moved to a point behind Edwin Allen, both from 4 games played. Cedric Titus took over the lead in Zone C with their 4th win, beating Mushet High 5-love and improved to 12 points. Christopher Walters, Josiah Blagrove, Kemari Gordon, Moshane Small, and Karen Eccleston all getting on the score sheet for the winners. Glenmuir High are the leaders in Zone M, beating Old Harbour High 2-love, and took over the lead on goal difference over Central High and Old Harbour, all on 9 points each. Defending champions Garvey Masio rode past Foga High 3-1 for back-to-back wins in Zone N, while Kempsale High got their first victory, blanking Winston Jones High 3-love. Goals seem to have dried up for Irwin High, who were held 0-0 by Maldon High in their rescheduled Zone A game, the second time in 3 days that Irwin had failed to score after scoring 10 goals in their first 4 games. The result took Maldon High to 4 games unbeaten, while Hopewell High scored their first win since 2019 after beating Merlin Hunty High 1-love in their Zone B game. Zone F leaders Manchester High and Belleair High widened their lead after wins over Belfield High and Mayday High in their return run games on Monday. Monday's results: Zone A, Maldon 0, Irwin 0. Zone B, Merlin Hunty 0, Hopewell 1, Green Island 1, Frome 5. Zone C, Cedric Titus 5, Mushet 0. Zone F, Belfield 0, Manchester 1, Mayday 0, Belleair 3, DeCarteret 1, Mount St. Joseph 1. Zone H, Thompson Town 0, Clarendon College 5, Lennon 6, Kellits 1. Zone M, Old Harbour 0, Glenmuir 2. Zone N, Kempsale High 3, Winston Jones 0, and Garvey Masio 3, Fogo Road 1. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.